Alright guys, this is Tyler with TJack Survival, and we're here with Matt with the Boulder Outdoor Survival School, and we are going to do a tandem hand drill, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so basically what we're going to do is just show you how to do this with two people, and the main reason that you would want to do that is because it's exhaustive, especially if you're a noob like me. So that's why we bring a professional.
Alright. Okay, cool. Well, the first thing we need to do is actually burn in a new hole for this. These are all looking pretty spent, so we're going to go ahead and start a new pilot hole just over in this one slightly. The way I like to do this is this is my Heli bushcraft knife. It's nice to have a knife that's got this wide of a blade to it, because the safe way to drill a pilot hole is actually to choke up on the end of your blade, and that way your fingers aren't way up at the top and there's no risk of you slipping down, because you really just need that little bit of the tip of your blade. And I'm basically just going to do little half circular cuts. You notice I'm not doing this in my hand, I'm doing it against the ground so that if the knife happens to go through at a weak point, it's not going to stab me in the hand. Alright, so we just need to open this up just enough to seat that spindle, and we'll burn in a new pilot hole. It should be probably enough. Okay. You want to burn in a new pilot hole?
That I can do.
Alright.
Turn a little bit so I can see. Oh, dude.
No worries.
I'm sorry.
I can still use it. Still usable.
Shrink it
Going
up
to
a
the
bit.
shorthand now.
Yeah, I'm fired. I'm fired myself. There you are.
Their diameter right there. Good. Alright.
So with notching, I'll either put my thumb to the left and pull back, or just set it on the ground and rock it. I usually try to measure it out a little bit before I start cutting. And then fortunately with yucca, it cuts really easily. I don't really have to pry on it a lot to get it to open up. And then as you start to cut deeper, I'll start going wider and sliding down the edge of it. And that helps me to get a more appropriately shaped notch. And I like to go 1/8 of a pie is how I remember it, and just short of center. That way, if I go to the center, my spindle blows out. Now with this, you don't have to, but I like to just put a little bit of a notch right here in the base part of it. And what that does is leave me a little pocket so that I can get a little more ember once it starts to fill up. Don't make it too big, because when you go start drilling it on your second or third fire, that'll cause a blowout, which is what I had up here.
Alright, let's do this. Piece of bark right there.
Can't believe I squashed that.
It's alright.
That's not cool.
Here's that.
What he's doing right here is just giving us a collection spot for the char. Once it builds up, we have to have a way to transfer it to our nest, which we'll pull out here in just a sec. You want to start? You want me to start?
We're good to go.
Now what he's doing is he's warming this up. So if you just kind of chill a little bit, and he's rotating his hands up here, the way I remember it is angled up when you're going back, angled down when you're going forward. And ultimately, if your hand stays in the same spot, you're doing it right. If it doesn't, you're doing it wrong. So what he's doing is he's warming this up, and it gets rid of that last 10% of water that's in the stick. And then as it starts to smoke, it's going to start building up this char down in here, which will spill into the hole. Once it spills into that hole and fills itself up, it'll start compressing itself, and that compression puts hot material closer to hot material, which eventually becomes an ember. You'll know that it's an ember when the pile smokes instead of the hearth board or the baseboard.
You about ready? Go ahead and get ready to take over when I get to the bottom, okay?
It's really important not to pull your spindle out, or it makes it get cold. Ready?
Yep.
We're getting buildup, we're not really getting spillover. So I'm just going to shift a little down into the hole. And now we're getting to fill up, and we basically got an ember already. Yep. So one thing that I like to do is to just tap this a little bit here, and it'll kind of squirt a little oxygen down on the ember. So if you're having a hard time, try to do that before you take it away, and if not, it's all good. You can either tip it over and drop it in, or I'll just slide it with my knife so that I can focus it on the pile, and then rotate and tap it. And that compresses it all down in that ember. We have a little bit of a breeze. The breeze will give it the oxygen that it needs in the fire triangle. Otherwise, if you kind of blow on it, you can see that ember starting up into flame. All right, brother, I'll let you hit the nest.
All right, so we got some cottonwood cambium here for our nest. So what we're going to do is just give this another second, maybe fan it slightly. Let it coalesce a little bit more. We want to get our nest as close to the ember as possible so we don't have to transport it any further than needed, because it's still very fragile. We're just going to tip it right into that center portion of the nest.
So a little bit about what he's doing here. Fire's made out of three things. It's made out of heat, it's made out of fuel, and it's run by oxygen. So right now, the heat's coming from the ember, the fuel is what it's surrounded by, that last piece is oxygen. If you smother it too much, there's not enough oxygen. If you blow too hard, it rips it apart. So it's this fine balance, and essentially, they say you blow as hard as the smoke. So if you have a little bit of a wisp of smoke, use your hand. About a medium smoke, start to blow softly, and then right now he's starting to get a heavier smoke, so he blows faster, and it's like a train. It kind of, it speeds itself up until you're on a roll, and then you'll eventually get that flame that will burst right out. And there's the flame.
There it is.
Outstanding, man. So that was just a quick team hand drill with a yucca stick. If you want to learn how to do this, learn how to do it well, do it from scratch, where can you come?
Boulder Outdoor Survival School.
All right, guys, I'll leave a link to that down in the comment section. It's boss-inc.com. And as always, if you gained value from this, please subscribe and share and comment. Thanks for watching TJack Survival. All right.